my normal enemies. And the attempts have been so many. This is not the first attempt on my life. It doesn't, to me, it's normal.
Emerson Mnangagwa may have had several attempts on his life, but perhaps none came as close as an explosion this past weekend. The Zimbabwean president was just meters away from a blast that rocked his political rally in Bulawayo. Mnangagwa escaped unharmed, but others were not so lucky. Several people were wounded, and so far 2 have died from their injuries. Next month, we'll see the first election since Robert Mugabe was forced from power. Mnangagwa vows the attack will not derail the vote. But opposition leader Nelson Chamisa isn't so sure, saying there could be more violence ahead. So, what can the government do to ensure stability? Let's ask the chairman of the UK chapter of Zimbabwe's ruling Zanu PF party, Nick Mangwana. He joins us now from London. Thanks so much for joining us, sir. Let me ask you...
Thank you for having me.
First of all, let me ask you, was it absolutely clear to you and the party and the government that it was the president who was targeted in that explosion?
It is very clear, without any shadow of doubt, that the target of the bomb was the president and possibly the top leadership of the party as well, because the vice president was just a few meters away from him. Well, the 2 vice presidents. One of the vice presidents is still in hospital as I'm speaking to you now, being treated for his injuries. The president, one of the president's aides is one of the people that died, and one of the vice president's aides again is one of the people that died. So you can see how the inner circle this whole thing was. So yes, the president was the one to be taken out, but because of the indiscriminate nature of the explosive, I think they wanted to have many for one. So right. if they could take out the president plus Zanu PF's top 4 or 6 people, then that would have been a very big harvest of the devil.
Right. And when you say they, who are you picturing? Who would want to do it and who would have the capability of doing it?
I'm not going to say anything more than the president has said, because it will be a bit irresponsible, knowing how much this brews tension and also knowing how much this can explode and interfere with investigations. But what the president has said in his official statement was that these are the same enemies that have attempted to kill him in the past. I think you remember that sometime last year, I think it was around the 8th of August or 12th of August, he was poisoned. And he had to be airlifted to South Africa for treatment. Yeah, so that is another attempt on his life. And he's saying it's the same enemies. His office was broken into quite a few times. I think it's about 6 times. And nobody knows what these people were trying to do. And this is supposed to be a very guarded office when he was vice president. And soon after his swearing in as vice president, his party office also was broken into. And one of the secretaries had poisoning from cyanide in there, and she was in hospital for quite a long time. And the person who was the target of this poisoning again was the president. It's only that this time round they've moved from poisoning and all other nefarious methods to exploding bombs or grenades, whatever it was, or explosives, indiscriminately.
Yeah, and I know you say it would be irresponsible for you to speculate as to who, but perhaps let me ask you then another side to this mystery and ask you about that and ask you the question in a different way. Why would they want to do that? Why would they want to kill President Mnangagwa?
It's very clear what President Mnangagwa is doing. He's transforming and reforming Zimbabwe. He has set in motion the Second Republic. One of the things that he has done is some 180-degree turns in policy. The policy thrust that was there before and where he's taking the country is completely different. And obviously, when situations like that happen, there are people that will be aggrieved. There are people that will not be happy. There are people that want the status quo to be maintained. And the likelihood, the very likelihood is this is the remnants from the old regime.
Elections around the corner. Zimbabweans are looking forward to those elections.
Correct.
July 30th. It's just around the corner. Big question marks about those elections now, given that the president was almost assassinated, right?
No, not at all.
Tell me why.
In every situation, there are always miscreants, fiends, and villains. People that will try to do some mischief making. Yes, targeting the president, the vice president, the party chairperson, the political commissar, and all those high-ranking officials. Yes, was an attempt at a very big scoop. But the fact still remains that Zimbabweans are resilient. Everything is going on. No political program, no campaign program is being affected in that sense. The day after this assassination attempt, the vice president was in Chitungwiza, a different town, campaigning before thousands and thousands of Zimbabweans who went there undeterred. The opposition leader was in Kadoma, the main opposition leader was in Kadoma, another town which is about 130 kilometers from Harare. Again, he was campaigning undeterred. He held a few meetings there. The first lady was also holding a campaign at some church services, again undeterred by this. Zimbabweans are still going around on with their business. Yesterday, the president opened a women's bank, again in a full house, where Zimbabweans are still congregating in public areas. They're still congregating in large numbers. It means that the political programs of every party is going on. Today, Zimbabweans gathered together to sign a peace pledge for the elections. All parties did that. All presidential candidates did that. It basically shows that the resilience of the Zimbabwean people is on display.
Yeah.
We are still going ahead with our programs as if nothing has happened.
Yeah.
While the investigations are taking place in the background.
Yeah, very finally, if, and I don't like to speculate, but as you mentioned, if these could be remnants of the old status quo, the old regime, and they're trying to get rid of Mnangagwa and trying to stop him from revolutionizing Zimbabwe and transforming the society, and if they were behind the attempted poisoning and now this explosion, this assassination attempt, do you fear that they're going to keep on trying until they get it right?
They will keep on trying, and I hope they won't get it right. We expect the security services to do whatever it takes to protect the president, because he's citizen number one. Right now, he is what Zimbabwe needs. He is what has been prescribed for Zimbabwe by the doctors, so to speak. So if they succeed, that will be a disaster. And I hope and pray they will never succeed with this.
Nick Mangwana, it's been a pleasure having you on the Newsmakers. Thank you very much for joining us.